I have been recording for about like 45 minutes and I realized something. Number one, my throat's hurting me. It's not in a sus way, I promise you. Number two is that, hold on, time out. Yo, we all have very short attention spans right now. So, 45-minute video might be tough. So I'm gonna try doing another 2-3-parter video series on the Wano Country fights. Make them shorter so they're more digestible for everyone to enjoy. So no Pepto-Bismol needed. Even if you have a weak gut, you can enjoy this video. And what I'm gonna talk about here, for this video particularly, is going to be Roof Peace, which was arguably one of the best group fights in the series. The great, the phenomenal, the good,
but also the bad.
That's right, the bad of Roof Peace. What spurred this on was, number one, we are reaching the end stage, that's what seems to be, of this arc in terms of the fights. Because there's one last major fight left at this point in time. It's Izo versus CP0. And Izo is gonna die a spectacular death. But there's a smaller fight, a mini fight, a side arc, which is Monkey Massive D Luffy. No pause, no sus needed. Sell your chest. Monkey Massive D Luffy versus Mr. Land, Sea, and Air. Kaido is allegedly the strongest until the red hair wonder Shanks rolls on in and everyone begins to sweat. It is what it is. There's only one God King, and Kaido is not he. Because this arc is so long, it's the longest arc in the series. And this is the arc that is the most fight-focused arc in the series. Maybe you can argue it's Marineford or Enies Lobby, but I kind of doubt it. I think comfortably Wano Country is the most fight-focused arc in the series. And there is a lot to talk about when it comes to these fights. Hence the reason why we're doing a 3-part series video on the subject. Now, before we get into Roof Peace and talk about the great, the good, the bad, and the fraudulent,
rate the damn video. Hey yo, rate the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and click on that bell to join the notification squad, you bums.
I love you.
Now, Roof Peace right now, very important here, right now, Roof Peace is the best fight in the arc. I think that's a very fair thing to say. From chapter 1000, chapter 1003, and then from chapter 1009 to 1011, it is, honest to God, some of the most epic moments in One Piece history. Arguably, it is the best group fight in the series, but it has competition, and that's Thriller Bark. The Thriller Bark Straw Hat versus Oars Luffy fight is a really good fight. Not just in the anime, but in the manga. Very important here. In the manga, it's also a really damn good fight. You have very damn good coordination and dope combo moves, like a lot of them, that you don't necessarily see that much of on Roof Peace, because, well, the 3 captains, Law, Kid, and Luffy, are hostile in some sense to each other, therefore they can't coordinate as well. That's a given. So if Roof Peace is a better group fight than Thriller Bark, then it's only because it has such an insane flurry of epic moment after epic moment after epic moment. So it's up to you, honestly, to gauge which one's better or not. I think I do lean more towards Roof Peace, but that could be because of, I'll be honest here, that could be because of recency bias. But when you think about how dope these moments were compared to so many moments in the history of One Piece, the first Red Rock was absolutely amazing, and it does a fantastic job setting the hype and the tone for the battle ahead. Luffy, Law, and Kid competing in their own smooth brain ways, and then seeing actual damage being done to Kaido by the other members of the Supernova. We have the Gamma Knife by Law, we have the Scyther Sonic from Killer, we have Zoro's Dragon Twister, we have Kid's Kurt Angle Seismic Toss Slam, which, I mean, maybe Robin did some damage to Darkseid? We can be generous here. You know, Robin had a good day. When Kaido did after Kid threw him, that actually meant something. So we'll give Kid a cookie. Big Mom, though, let's not forget here, Big Mom was there in this fight on Roof Piece, and she was quite studly off the rip with the God of Lightning Tenjin. Oh my goodness. Big Mom, she brought back the Sky P vibes hard. As the King of Lightning, I absolutely co-sign. The strongest woman in One Piece, Big Mom, pulling out the lightning stops. I absolutely appreciate that. The NL vibes were strong, and I dig it. Oh, I love the God of Lightning Tenjin, especially knowing that those bolts were Zeus, and they were all tracking and homing. Oh, that's so cool. That is epic as all hell. And then, was also a very low-key but dope moment that a lot of folks don't talk about, is Luffy muscling through the blast breath. This is the same blast breath that blew out a mountain, like vaporized it in an instant. In the anime, it's like a whole mountain range, like how it just travels across the horizon. Luffy muscled through that. That is one hell of a durability feat. He yells at Kaido, it's guts, that's the reason why I can handle this. And then delivers an absolute fierce flurry of the Kong Gatling. Luffy, oh man, he laid in those auras for several pages, even in the next chapter. He laid in a continuous barrage of punches until there was a big shockwave, Kaido collapses, and then he's done out of Gear 4 Bowman. Dude, Luffy set the tone high bar. And there's a small panel of Kid when he sees Luffy do that, which probably was the start of Kid realizing just how much of a fraud he was.
More fraudulence from Judge? Let's find out.
Okay, I need to stop. It's true. It's just true.
True, and yeah, that's pretty true.
But then after all of that, when Kaido rebounds, right, and he does the Dragon Twister, which was also cool to see because you have Big Mom on like God of Lightning stuff, then you have Kaido on like the God of Wind stuff. So you have that Fuijin, Raijin, Naruto, and Sasuke. So Sasuke, Big Mom, Naruto, Kaido. Then Zoro comes in with his own Dragon Twister. He cuts Kaido's scales, so the first one actually do damage to Kaido's scales directly, but Kaido, hey, you know what, Kid? Good job. Here's some more Dragon Twisters. Does a souped-up version of the Dragon Twister, the Demolition Breath version of the Dragon Twister, and that was dope. Oh, again, the Yonko showing off in big ways. We cut away from Kaido Big Mom on that note of Kaido going into hybrid form in the mist. Hybrid form is actually not all that nice. I'll be real with you. There was a lot of fan-made artwork of Kaido's hybrid form, and they were a lot better than what we actually saw for the first time. I remember that the main point of contention was Kaido's snout. Kaido's snout kind of sucked. Yeah, it did. Like his snout just needed a lot more work. Not necessarily a big deal there, but his hybrid form was kind of underwhelming in many respects. But still, Kaido hybrid form, off the gate, amazingly impressive when him and Big Mom do potentially the strongest attack in One Piece history at this point in time, the Conquest of the Sea combo move. That thing was nuts. That thing was absolutely radical. And once again, Big Mom and Kaido showcasing the natural disaster ability that they have to offer. Like, these people could easily change the landscape at will if they want to, without a doubt. But Zoro, dude, Zoro was phenomenal. Him blocking the Conquest of the Sea is arguably one of his most epic moments of all time. Him enduring his bones being shattered for that amount of seconds, that was phenomenal. In the anime, I believe that is going to be, people may say that's a moment just as good as Nanimo. Nothing happened. It's going to be wild. The effects, the shockwaves, the hype, the tears. People literally, unironically, will defecate in their own pants when that comes out in the anime. Yes, it's going to be that good a moment. And then when you think about it, how crazy it was when it came to the follow-up after that moment. When Zoro could still manage to hold off Prometheus as Law and Kid try to deal with Big Mom and get her out of the area. And then this dude Zoro pulling out the Asura Dead Man game. The first time we see Asura in the post-time skip. And he's able to leave a scar on Kaido before collapsing as a result of blocking the conquest of the sea. Zoro came out like a stud. Those two chapters right there, 1009 and 1010, are just a great microcosm as to why folks love Zoro so much. The man is raw. He is the rawest character in One Piece. Though, to be fair, Doflamingo, Crocodile, and Rob Gucci might have something to say about that claim. Hey, why I like Zoro? Boom. 1009, 1010. Ayo, that's why I like Zoro. Man, it's nasty. And listen, man, it's hard to deny just how dope Zoro was in those two chapters. But even after all that Zoro greatness, Monkey Massive D. Monkey Massive D! God damn! This kid's something else crazy, man. Like, Luffy had his Super Saiyan moment. This man, like a phoenix from the ashes after the Ragnaroku, bounced back. Hisoka rubber and gum. Bounced back like a sonic platform. Boom! Hey, yo, wait a minute, hold on. You can infuse attacks with Conqueror's Haki. That shook me, man. And becoming so much more exponentially stronger in the process, too. Because it really set the tone for not just the arc for Luffy in terms of fighter, but also for the rest of the series to come. Which is why it was so shell-shocking. Because Luffy, at that point in time, in that moment, had made an honest-to-goodness, genuine push to be in the top strongest characters of all time in One Piece at that moment. And it makes you really understand, hey yo, time out. We are really coming to the end game of the One Piece series. That single moment when he's able to infuse Conqueror's Haki into his punch and reel Kaido, Zoro couldn't get Kaido on his knees. Luffy had Kaido on his back. Wow. Wow. That's all I can say. It was just stunning. Because now we knew we are really at the final stretch of the series. Because we see Luffy and he's this powerful. Only maybe like 7 other guys in the series can match Luffy now. And Luffy is only going to get stronger as the arc reaches its finale. Luffy, the final leg against Kaido, is going to be absolutely jaw-dropping. God damn, that was scary. However, everything is not all right in paradise. Because even though the roof piece was amazing, the roof piece has distinct flaws. Distinct flaws that prevented, I think, from being much, much better than what it should have been. Number 1, Zoro doing the Firefox style was dumb. That was actually smooth brain dumb. Yes, he did steal. He did steal it. Oh, swiper, no swiping. Kima, I swiped you.
I'm gonna swipe you, you stupid bitch.
No. Hell no. Not seeing him learn the Firefox style, the how and the where, is absolutely vexing. Especially when you add on to the fact that he is so proficient at using the Firefox style. Come on. Like, what? And it stings even more knowing that Oda had set up build-up in Punk Hazard for Zoro learning the Firefox style and getting no real details or even seeing how Zoro attained that technique until we actually see it on the rooftop does sully that moment because it makes it feel as if that moment was undeserved and unwarranted, in the general sense of Zoro just pulled it out of his ass. And it makes you think about the missed opportunities that Oda could have easily infused into the story when it came to Zoro and Kinemon, which actually would have made us, the readers, care a lot more about Kinemon's character because now it would have a much closer tie to Zoro's character. Number 2, how the hell does Law stay conscious after a Thunder Bagua? What? This is the same attack that knocked out Gear 4 Boundman Luffy a few days ago. And Law in chapter 1010 is somehow able to take a Thunder Bagua and be conscious in that same chapter later on to watch Luffy and Kaido clash and not touch. Like he was Odin and he's watching Whitebeard and Roger clash for the first time. The assumption here that I've seen is that Law was able to keep the antibacterial current up for the entire duration, but that's not even remotely clear in the slightest. It looks like Law just took a Thunder Boggle wholesale, which is busted and dumb. But at the same time, looking at Law now, Law is busted and dumb. I've seen it being debated constantly, repeatedly. So it is a bad thing for the Roof Piece, but I'm hoping that in the future, the anime does clear this up. That is my hope. That is my prayer. So that is number 2. Law, for some reason, has more durability now than Gear 4 Bowman Luffy. Number 3, Kid choosing to go after Big... I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Kid choosing to go after Big Mom instead of fight against Kaido is arguably one of the most fraudulent things in One Piece. He gets a fat F on his report card, not for fail, for fraudulent. The man was caught copying directly out of the textbook. It's unbelievable. He has the most onus out of all of the Supernova to fight against Kaido. He forgoes that for Big Mom in, once again, the most fraud-like way. Arguably, it's good for his character because he does learn to actually trust people. But the execution on his part is a bit suspect. I'm going to say sus, and I'm going to mean this time, actual sussy-wussy way. And then number 4, this is the biggest issue with Roof Piece. This is the biggest undeniable issue with Roof Piece. And honestly, it's not really a Roof Piece issue directly. It was how Oda went into Roof Piece. That was a big issue. Every action on the rooftop would have easily been amplified to a whole new level of interest and hype if Luffy was the first person in the arc to actually damage Kaido. Meaning that the Scabbard's fight against Kaido beforehand does diminish Roof Piece. That is a stone cold Steve Austin.
I was going for another tip. Austin, he got it! Let's get it!
That's just a fact. 2 beers, boom. Ugh. Yes.
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold
Kinemon could injure and wound Kaido going into the fight on the rooftop with Luffy, Zoro, Law, Kid, and Killer. We knew that they could damage Kaido because, by God, Kinemon could damage Kaido. Raizo of the Mist could damage Kaido. Kiku Nojo could damage Kaido. And that undercuts so much of the sense of danger pre-Roof Piece. Because there were obvious questions as to if Luffy, Kid, Law, and so on could actually damage Kaido. For example, Luffy is training to bypass Kaido's scales, but Luffy couldn't damage Kaido even when Kaido was in base form when he had no scales active. That's just one example of many examples when it comes to Luffy, Law, Zoro, Kid, and Killer before Roof Piece even happened, and whether or not they could actually earnestly damage someone like Kaido. But all those questions we had about damaging Kaido were completely washed away because Kikunojo, because Kinemon, because Raizo and Denjiro, they could damage Kaido. An equivalent example here would be Paulie and the Shipwrights in Water 7 actually doing substantive damage and work to CP9, in particular Rob Lucci, before going into Enies Lobby. That does lower the sense of danger and the threat level for the Straw Hats and their fights going into that final stretch of Enies Lobby, because we saw Paulie and the Shipwright get some damn good shots off on Rob Lucci and CP9. So it's unfortunate, but it is the reality of the matter. And the Scabbards, I think, even though they're good characters in their own right, in so many respects, they do take away from other long-standing characters in the series like Law, Kid, and so on, but more importantly, from the characters that we care the most about, the Straw Hats. Their existence just sucks time and opportunity for the Straw Hats and for so many things in this arc. Therefore, even though I dig Roof Piece, and I dig it a lot, Roof Piece is questionable on being the best group fight in the series, and I don't think it's on the same level as Luffy versus Katakuri. That's right. Katakuri versus Luffy over Roof Piece. You heard me right, because by God, in the manga, not the anime, in the manga, that was something crazy. To this day, oh my God, to this day, chapter 895. Kimochi, it's so good. I reread it, and every time I do, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. That chapter is phenomenal. However, there is a fight upcoming, Luffy versus Kaido, that is on pace to surpass even that fight, but it's not Roof Piece. I'm sorry. It is not. No, I'm not sorry. It's not Roof Piece.